Hey guys, Marsling here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and so finally, this is the last one. All the runs that I had to re-record because the footage I recorded on the first day that the stages came out that got messed up, finally done. So this is the last one going up. The playlist will finally be at 60 out of 60. So yeah, this is the MAJIN BUU SAGA no items run. As I mentioned in the previous one, and I think the one before. All these last ones, we basically ended up using the double STR Goku and Vegeta leads. Obviously, this is the one where they're the most relevant because they are the best MAJIN BUU SAGA category lead. And the team is pretty similar to the ones that we've used in the other builds, but obviously we are restricted to only MAJIN BUU SAGA characters. So, as you can see on this run, we are using the Tech Candy Vegito. As you've seen here in this first rotation, if he doesn't dodge, he takes a ridiculous amount of damage. So it's actually kind of funny to think that, like, look how low our HP is here going into the second turn. And yet this is indeed a successful no items run. So pretty crazy to consider because, yeah, we're on very, very low HP right now. But we got Tech Gohan in slot 1. So obviously he is a beast when it comes to tanking. As long as the MAJIN Vegeta doesn't super attack in that first slot before we get to attack with Gohan, then I was pretty confident that we weren't going to die. As you can see, Gohan taking less than 10k from the normal attack before supering and getting that first defense raise off. Once he super attacked the first time and gotten his defense up, like, normal attacks just don't really do any damage to him. So he's obviously very, very good for this. And then the Supreme Kai and Kibito, I mentioned this in the previous video as well. Every single stage that we could use them on, I think I did. Like, they're super underrated. Before these new stages came out, I hadn't even really thought about them that much. But they have a built-in chance to dodge. They lower attack on their super and can seal. And can stun, sorry. And then if you choose to transform them, they lower all the enemy's attack and defense for 2 turns. They seal on their super attack. And then the first time they super in that turn where you've transformed them, they get a guaranteed stun. So they're really, really good. Obviously, sometimes you got to play the RNG a little bit and hope that you get the dodges. But, I mean, that's kind of a running theme in a lot of these no-item runs. So, the only unit that is a little different on this run that I didn't use in any of the other stages was the LR Saiyaman 1 and 2. Now, as like a standalone unit, their defense isn't that great. They do take quite a bit of damage, but they provide key and defense to basically everybody on the team, which is really useful because on the odd occasion, the key links are not the best depending on how we want to float around, like the Candy Vegito or the Kibito and Supreme Kai. And so them being there is very good. And obviously they provide that extra defense. So it's really useful on rotations. Like, say you're going straight into a new fight. Gohan's in slot 1, hasn't had any time to build up his defense yet. But these guys in the final slot give him so much extra defense that he tanks perfectly fine even before getting off his super attack. So they work out really well. And as you can see on that previous turn, and I do this a lot throughout this run, you can deliberately get their 12 key super attack because their 18 key does do more damage, but they're not really here for dealing damage. They're here for the support, and their 12 key super attack does seal, which is obviously very, very useful because one of the biggest things, like pretty much the ultimate thing that ends a no items run is when you take a super attack where you really couldn't afford to. Like, whichever unit on the rotation is the one that really can't tank a super is normally the one that gets hit by one to end one of the runs. So having another unit on deck that can seal is obviously very, very useful. And the Supreme Kai and Kibito coming in clutch here with the stuns. So as you can see, we've recovered insanely well from that first turn where we basically almost died in turn 1. And then, of course, this is why we've used the double Vegito and Goku leads in so many of these runs, is because we can transform on turn 4 into Vegito, get the heal. It's only a 50% heal, but the great thing is you can, if you're on the right amount of HP. We're not able to do it here, but we did it in a previous run, and I can't remember if we do it later on in this one. But if your health is low enough, you only get 50% HP back with the Vegito fusion. So it's actually possible to fuse with one of them and then have your HP still be below I think it's 77% the threshold for the other one, and then you can transform both of them in the same turn, which does basically give you a full heal. So that's obviously a useful thing. But even just transforming the one, like, you can see how much better off we are now with our overall HP. Vegeta was stunned, so we're basically just getting off some free damage here. And I think he survives the turn, but he's yeah, his health is incredibly low. And now we've got Gohan. We've got our classic rotation. We ran this on the super class stage as well. And I think I may have even run this one on this rotation for Hybrid Saiyans as well. But Tech Gohan with the STR High School Gohan in slot 2. Very, very good combo. And obviously with the Vegito fusion, we are now able to see the super attack placements. And Gohan's defense is now so high, and we're going to transform into Ulma Gohan, obviously. And with the support from not only High School Gohan, but also the LR Saiyaman 1 and 2, because they give a big defensive buff to the allies as well. I can't remember, I don't think did I bring up the menu and check his defense? I don't think so. Insanely high. So yeah, takes a super attack from Majin Vegeta, 40k. Pretty good for ESBR with no items active. So slot 1 super attack, and of course Gohan being attacked in slot 1 means his passive activates, so big old 2.3 million crit, takes out Vegeta, and we move on to the next one. So this one, definitely, this run is slightly longer than some of the previous ones. I remember joking yesterday for the superclass one that it was one of the quickest ones. This one is definitely one of the slightly longer ones, and it's because the team is built to be so much more defensive than some of the other builds. So like, we've got units on here like Candy Vegito, Saiyaman 1 and 2, and Kibito Kai, who are here solely for their utility, whether it's dodging, stunning, that sort of thing. But they don't deal that much damage. So obviously the run takes a little bit longer overall. I'm trying to decide who to put in slot 1 here, because I can't get a super attack with Candy Vegito in slot 1, which is really annoying. And so I am going to go for putting the Goku and Vegeta in slot 1. The friend one for this run wasn't rainbowed. I believe they were only 55%, same as mine. So this is definitely not the most overpowered version that this run could be. Obviously with like a rainbow friend, it would be way more efficient here. Although actually maybe the friend does have dupes, because I feel like 20k in the first slot is actually not that much for Vegito. Or, well, I say Vegito, Goku and Vegeta, pre-super attack. Because obviously after super attacking when they raise their defense, tanking for double digits. But yeah, that paid off, because obviously a super attack in slot 1 would have been really bad. I could have put Candy Vegito in slot 1 and just hoped for the dodges, but I really wanted to super attack with him, obviously to try and get the chance to stun. And then of course he did not get the stun anyway. But he did do some dodging. He dodged the super attack from Piccolo, which is very important, because we want to try and avoid taking damage where we can. And then we get the stun on Gotenks with the Kibito and Supreme Kai. So that sets us up quite nicely. We've got a few units that can stun, but yeah, getting one of the units out of the way so that we don't have to worry about the constant threat of multiple super attacks is very nice. And so we are getting the Dokkan attack with Gohan. Fortunately, he is getting hit first, so he does at least get his attack up. It is a bit of a shame with these kind of units that take a while to build up, because obviously Gohan only gets more and more powerful. So getting the Dokkan attack with him on turn 1 is obviously not the best case scenario, but he is still a good candidate for getting it. We've got him linked up with the High School Gohan for that little bit of extra support. So, I mean, he's rocking over a 2.5 million attack stat, and considering it is his first turn, I would say that that is pretty decent. So, yeah, 3 million damage crit on Piccolo is quite nice. I don't think we crit on either of the other ones. We definitely didn't crit on the Gohan, because obviously we got type disadvantage against him. So, as you can see, we didn't really do that much damage. So, we obviously didn't crit against him. But I aimed for Gohan with High School Gohan, see if we could get the stun on him. And then I wasn't expecting the Dokkan attack to do quite that much damage to Piccolo, so had him targeted with Goku and Vegeta so they can finish him off. So pretty good to get rid of Piccolo that quickly, and obviously thanks to the Dokkan attack we are now at full HP. And we got Saiyaman 1 and 2 on rotation, providing that support. So we don't have to worry about Ki for anyone on this turn either. So I'm going to go ahead and put Goku and Vegeta in slot 1 again. And then target Gohan. Candy Vegito will go for the stun on Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. And then for the Saiyaman 1 and 2, again, only going for their 12 key super and targeting the Gohan. Because best case scenario is Candy Vegito stuns Gotenks, and then Gohan is sealed, ready to go into the next turn. So he's not able to cause much of a threat. Obviously, we had to run the risk of him super attacking earlier in the turn, but no super attacks on Goku and Vegeta, meaning they are able to tank all of those very well. Candy Vegito comes through with the stun on Gotenks and dodges the attack from Gohan. Because obviously with type disadvantage, like Gohan's going to hit Candy Vegito for like 150k on normal attacks. So that's definitely not what we want. But we seal up Gohan, so now we're all good for this turn. He's only attacking in the first slot as well, so this is perfect. He basically can't deal damage to Gohan here, because he can't super attack. Gohan's already supered in this event and gotten his defense up once. So his defense is already going to be very solid here. And I stay targeted on Gohan with High School Gohan. See if maybe we could get the stun, because High School Gohan does have a chance to stun. I think it's only 30%. And then I get Kibito and Supreme Kai to target Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, because if we can, we could just try and keep him stunned for the duration of the event, which would be pretty good. Unfortunately, my Gohan not critting on the enemy Gohan, so we don't do a lot of damage thanks to the type disadvantage, but it's all good. High School Gohan with the crit, obviously not the biggest damage dealing unit in the world, but that High School Gohan is a fantastic unit, one of the best free to play units in the game. And then yeah, here we are. So we didn't stun Gotenks, but he is attack lowered thanks to Supreme Kai and Kibito. This is where I was a little bit nervous, because with this team set up, like the Goku and Vegeta, as we've seen, are pretty decent at tanking normal attacks even before a super, but if we get supered in this first slot here, this is where we're going to start taking quite a bit of damage. So of course, Gotenks hits us with the super, only 120k, which is not too bad, all things considered. It puts us in that nice spot where we're obviously now able to get the Vegito transformation. It's just unfortunate that this turn happened to be the double Goku and Vegeta rotation. So basically means we need to get around to the next time we get them back in order to actually do the fusion. Candy Vegito coming in clutch again this turn, dodging every single attack. That super attack from Gohan absolutely would have been game over if Candy Vegito had not got the dodge. So we are still in the game, and this is a good turn in fact for this setup, because whilst we do have the Saiyaman 1 and 2, and I think, yeah, Gotenks is attacking in every single slot, but Gotenks is basically almost dead here, so we can go ahead and transform Gohan. There's basically no way we don't finish off Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks this turn, and then we only have one enemy left with the Gohan. If High School Gohan doesn't get the stun on him, then at least Saiyaman 1 and 2 in the last slot should be able to get the seal. And of course, with Saiyaman 1 and 2 on the rotation, this Tech Gohan, his defense is going to be insanely high. So he should be more than capable of tanking all of these attacks in slot 1. He's getting hit first as well, which is perfect. So that's going to give him the attack up part of his passive active. And so yeah, he is easily going to finish off Gotenks here. So retarget to Gohan. I guess it doesn't matter because Gotenks is absolutely going to die. Go for the stun with Candy Vegito. And then I retargeted back to the Gotenks just in case. I don't know why. There's almost no way I can't imagine a situation where he lives this attack from Gohan, but just had to be 100% sure. And then of course Gohan does actually have the chance to stun on his super attack, so he got the stun on Gotenks, even though he killed him anyway. So pretty funny, but deals pretty decent damage to the Gohan. Sadly, the stun is not on the Gohan, but it's all good because High School Gohan, another crit, followed up by an additional super attack. No crit on that one, but pretty solid damage. I don't know if Saiyaman 1 and 2 have enough firepower here in the last slot to actually finish off Gohan. I'm actually hoping that they don't, which came in clutch, because even though it's only a little bit of health extra, because we're not on super low health, I really wanted it to go on to the next turn so I could then do the Vegito fusion and get a nice free heal. Because obviously going into the last fight, I'd much rather be on full health, or at least close to, than having a good 30% or so missing. Just because, you know, every little bit of extra health helps when you're not using items. So I definitely wanted to go through to this other turn. And I can see that there's no super attacks thanks to Vegito's ability now that he's transformed. So what I decide to do here, obviously Vegito, when transformed from the Goku Vegeta stage, doesn't have damage reduction anymore. But I transform the Supreme Kai and Kibito into Kibito Kai. They're now nerfing Gohan's attack, so he's not going to do as much damage. I mean, you can still see, he still does 24k, but that's perfectly fine. And then, of course, Vegito finishing him off with the counter attack. So, based on the HP that we had when we went for the transformation, we gained a good 20 to 25% HP by having Gohan survive that second to last turn so that we could then get the fusion with Vegito on the next turn. So now we're on to the final stage against the Super Saiyan Vegito. They changed his typing to AGL pretty much directly to combat the fact that everyone was going to be using Goku and Vegeta as the team leader. So we do have to be very careful, because even post super attack, especially my one that is only 55%, if we get super attacked, even after supering and raising our defense, we're going to take a lot of damage from this Vegito. So we do have to be careful, but the great thing about these stages where there is only one enemy right at the end, even though they have a lot of HP, so they take a lot longer to kill, because there's only one of them, you can get very lucky if you're bringing a lot of units that have the potential to stun, and you can just stun lock the enemy into oblivion so that they literally can't do anything to you. So High School Gohan, starting things off with a bang on turn 1 here, getting the stun, meaning I don't have to worry about Goku and Vegeta getting super attacked. I breathed a huge sigh of relief at the time of recording when actually got that stun off with High School Gohan. And then we have a good setup by having the Kais and Saiyaman 1 and 2 on the same rotation here, because obviously Vegito is stunned, so ideally Supreme Kai and Kibito get the stun, but if they don't, they lower attack, and then Saiyaman 1 and 2 in slot 3 seal, which means going into the next turn, if he's not stunned, he's going to be attack lowered and sealed. So we don't really need to worry about him dealing too much damage to us, even on our STR units. So yeah, as you can see, we don't get the stun, but we do lower his attack, and then the Saiyaman 1 and 2 coming in with the seal. So that leaves us in a really good spot, especially because our next rotation is the one with the Tech Gohan. So the strategy's kind of changed a little bit, and Candy Vegito ended up getting floated off. I think once he comes back around into the other rotation, we keep him on main rotation again, because obviously in this final fight against Vegito, having him on main rotation is very effective because of the type advantage and of course the chance to stun. So on this rotation we do have 2 units that have a chance to stun with their super, and Vegito is sealed and attack lowered, so he really can't do anything to us here. And Gohan obviously not going to take any damage. Even before Vegito being attack lowered, Gohan would be a superstar in this final stage. So he is all good here. But yeah, even High School Gohan. Bear in mind, mine is Rainbow and full level 10 links, but he's a free-to-play card with type disadvantage, taking double-digit damage from Super Vegito in ESBR with no item active. So that's pretty good. Candy Vegito, unfortunately, not getting the stun, and so this is another one of those situations where I start to panic, because as soon as one unit doesn't get the stun, or at least 2 turns in a row you're unable to get the stun, that puts you in a situation like this where I really don't want to put Goku and Vegeta in slot 1, because pre-super attack their defense is definitely not where I would want it to be in order for them to be taking attacks from Vegito. And then we weren't able to get the super with the friend, so I'm really hoping here that Kibito and Supreme Kai come in clutch. But I mean, they started off the turn great, they dodged every single attack, and then they don't get the stun, but they do lower his attack again, which is obviously a big deal here, because we're going to see here Goku and Vegeta unfortunately not getting the additional, so they didn't get any supers, even without raising their defense, thanks to the attack lowers that we've applied to Vegito. He was barely able to deal any damage to them, which is great. And then obviously, look, I mean, look at that. I think the friend one must have more dupes for this run. I always forget, because I did so many of these runs using Goku and Vegeta friends. I forget the dupe levels, but I mean, you see there, this friend one must have a couple of dupes, because he was taking less damage without supering than my 55% one did after supering and raising his defense. So I am definitely, one of the things I've been saving my red coins for is when the anniversary banners hit. We are, what, just over a month and a half now away from the anniversary. Once the anniversary banners come out, Vegito, Gotenks, like, they're going to be available with red coins. I have been saving my red coins for them. Obviously, I'm going to do my summons first. That's common sense. Everyone should be doing that. Don't buy a unit as soon as the banners go up. And then, like, even if you do some summons on the first day, you want to make sure you don't use your coins until you're absolutely sure that you finished summoning. Because the last thing you want to do is buy a unit with coins, and then maybe we get, like, because it happens a lot with the anniversary where it happens multiple times, we might get like a second, not necessarily top grossing, but like bunch of free stones, and then you go ahead and do a multi and pull that unit. I mean, at the end of the day, always good to have more dupes, but you want to be careful how you spend your coins, because for me, I never at any point now want to buy the final copy of a card to rainbow them, because every time pretty much in the last, since they introduced the coin system, every single unit that I've ever bought with coins, the next time they've come back on a banner, I've pulled them like 3 or 4 times. So, but Vegito, STR, Goku, Vegeta are definitely, like, they should be top of your list for who you buy with red coins. They are still, at this point, one of the best, like, red coin units in the game, because obviously Dokkan Fest TURs and Dokkan Fest LRs are the ones that you can get with the red coins, and they are way up there in the list of just how good they are. I mean, you can see, if you go back, like I said, and look through the playlists of all of these no item runs, so many of them we either use their team or just use them on the team, because they are so good. And this, of course, we're going to see it again in action here. It's just yet another one of the reasons why they're so effective, because you get a few turns in, you've taken a bunch of damage, and then boom, you get a massive heal. You get the ability to see super attacks, which helps you plan out the turn better. So, I mean, these guys are just fantastic. And I have, like I say, at 55%, if I finish all my summons and I haven't pulled any copies of them, I will probably buy at least 2 copies with the red coins. And of course, this is the other massive W for Global, the fact that by the time we get the anniversary banners, we're going to have the same name update. So when you're doing the summons on those banners, all the units you're pulling, like the Golden Frieza or the old UI Goku and all that, units that you've had rainbowed for ages, you're going to be able to trade those in for red coins. So I deliberately didn't get a super attack with Candy Vegito here, because I could tell that we were going to get the Dokkan attack this turn, and even though he has type advantage, it's obviously a waste because he's not really a very good damage dealing unit. So we skipped the Dokkan attack with him, let him get a couple of dodges, and then we get the 18 key super Dokkan attack with Vegito. I did the same thing that I did for the previous fight, where I transformed the Kibito Kai as well, so we can reduce Vegeta's damage, Vegito's damage, in case he does survive, and he's not going to do crazy damage with his attacks. But we don't get a crit, sadly, so we're still taking 40k. So I mean, you can see here, this is why, like I say, they made this Super Vegito AGL, to try and deliberately combat the usage of STR, Goku and Vegeta just running rampant here. But we get multiple crit counters, so huge damage off of the counter attacks there from the STR Vegito. And then Kibito Kai, they get their guaranteed stun. So that was basically the plan. If the Dokkan attack wasn't going to kill him, Kibito comes in, gets the guaranteed stun, and then he just can't do anything, and he survives with the tiniest sliver of health. So, of course, Tech Gohan is able to just come in here in slot 1 and finish him off. So, there you go. That is the Majin Buu Saga No Items run done. thank you guys for your patience. I know it's taken me a while to get all of these videos up. I did post a bunch of the screenshots and stuff, like I said this in some of the other videos, but every single stage except for Fusion, I had done no items within 48 hours of the new stages coming out, and then a whole bunch of issues with the recordings meant that I've had to re-record. Issues with my schedule, both with like IRL work, 5/9, like, and then other channel stuff, has meant that a load of these have been delayed in recording the commentary. So I know it's a bit of a pain that it's taken so long, but thank you guys for checking this one out. Obviously, can't wait till the next bunch of stages come out. Next time around, I think I am literally just going to record the no item runs straight away on the PC, rather than take the risk with my phone and just getting them uploaded straight away. But there you go. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the links down below for the Discord and the merch store, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.